My name is Barry Rawlins. I'm a soil scientist based at the British Geological Survey near Nottingham. I also represent an organisation called the British Society of Soil Science. Now, although soil covers most of the landscape, we don't often see it because it's obscured by vegetation, be that grass or woodland or agricultural crops, and therefore we don't often think about some of the things that soils do for us. You may not know, but 2015 is going to be the International Year of Soils. And you may very well ask the question, well, why do we need to have soils represented by an international year? For me, there are several reasons. For example, 80% of the food that we eat is grown in soil. Also, we grow crops from which we can make clothes, so fibres generated from crops that are grown in soil. Soils can also be used to grow energy crops. So, for example, in the field behind me, there's a crop of elephant grass that can be burnt in a power station and to generate electricity. Soils can also trap rainfall and prevent flooding from occurring in the landscape, and that has been very important in the UK in the last year, where we had a lot of heavy rainfall in the south of England. Where we can manage soils well, we can prevent flooding. Soils also contain a very large amount of carbon, and there's about twice as much carbon in soils as there is equivalently in the atmosphere. So it's very important in respect of climate change. Despite all those things that soils do for us, if we don't manage them well, then they don't perform all those functions. So, for example, if we don't care for our soils carefully, then they can erode from the landscape. If we take farm machinery onto soils when it is too wet, then the soils can become compacted and crops that are grown in them won't grow so well. And the other factor that we often consider or need to consider is the presence or the occurrence of buildings. If we aren't thoughtful in where we build, then we can seal soils and they won't therefore provide all those functions that I've talked about. So it's very important that we try and maintain soils in a healthy state, and that's partly why 2015 is going to be recognised as the International Year of Soils. If you want more information, you can go to a couple of websites, soils.org.uk or the UK Soil Observatory at ukso.org.